if I just open the link, and if I just start looking at the image right there, you see there's a blue and there's a orange, correct?
Mm.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So that means the blue tells this is the customer responsibility. Okay. That means responsibility for security in the cloud. In the orange sections, you can see everything will come to AWS, responsibility for security of the cloud. So in and off के अंतर बहुत फर्क है. What do we mean by that? So let's say in the blue, if customer will deploy their application, AWS will know will AWS will know, okay, what sort of application that your customer is deploying, right? So if the application is faulty, if application is buggy, right, then how AWS will know that application has certain vulnerabilities? Vulnerability means is a some kind of gap by which security threats can be
The
done.
security breach will be there.
So that is not AWS responsibility. Let's say customer team, they accidentally or purposely they open all the port in the firewall, right? And we know if you open all the ports in the firewall, then it's a huge mistakes, right? From the configuration perspective. Then AWS
Yeah.
will not go to customer and tell, hey, Mr. Customer, this is my responsibility because you opened all of the ports and something bad happened. Then it is everything is down. So AWS will not tell customer, right? It is customer responsibility, right? Similarly, if the customer system admin, they don't patch their operating system, they don't patch their servers, they don't upgrade their operating system, they misconfigure the firewall, they misconfigure the identity and access management, then it's not AWS responsibility. It is still customer responsibility. You understand?
Yeah.
If customer they don't do any encryptions, if customer they don't do any kind of data integrity authentications, so again this is not AWS responsibility, this is customer responsibility. Yes. Now if I'll come to AWS responsibility, anything at global level, global infrastructure level, right? Global hardware, global storage, compute, database, networking, availability zone, region, edge location, if something goes wrong there, if some of the security bad things there, something happens at the global infrastructure level, then definitely it comes to AWS responsibility. But anything at the customer level, customer data, because AWS will not touch customer data because data is very important, right? Very secure, very confident informations, right? If customer will share their data across their friends, across different people, then how AWS will know that okay, you customer has shared the data across everybody, isn't it? So please remember when you provide any solutions and customer will ask the same questions to you, then you have to tell that that is a shared responsibility model. AWS and customer, they will work together, but everybody should know, their own responsibility. Don't blame if something happened because of the customer misconfigurations. Bye bye. You understand?
Yes.
Very important. I can tell you maybe the theory, but in reality, आपके पास ये customer ऐसा आएगा and they will say this, they will ask the same kind of thing. अरे मेरा तो AWS में host है, अभी मेरा data breach हो गया. Now you are telling that it is not AWS responsibility. How come? Then you have to tell, you have to make them understand in this scenario, like share responsibility model. Okay, that is the first today's topic it was. Now go back to AWS console and some of the pending pending items, okay, pending discussion that today we are going to cover. This is regarding to EC2 first. Hmm.
Okay.
So if I go to EC2, so far I can see that we discussed EC2, elastic IP, then 2 by 2 check and AMI from my another machine. We also discussed AWS history first day, then
Yes.
region and availability zone, VPC part 1, and day 2 may we discussed VPC public subnet and private subnet. So the last discussion, since it was for EC2, then let's discuss more on the EC2. So let's assume I have got many servers, though they are all stopped. But अगर customer पूछे कि I need to upgrade this server, okay? I need to upgrade from T2 small to T2 medium or T2 large. How can you do that? That is the question. That is the production. That is the use case. So if you go to one many students, they ask that, okay, there's a AMI, I can take AMI, and from AMI I can create the bigger machine, right? Bigger server. Last day we discussed AMI,
Yes.
but it takes a lot of time, correct? So you first take AMI and then you do, but AWS has come up with the very quicker way to do that, which is go to action. Okay, there's an option called instance settings, and then you see there's an option called change instance
Change.
type. Okay? Click on that and simply choose your desired server from this list. Let's say T2 large. Okay, and that's the little comparison, like in T2 large, that is the additional dollar. Of course, yes. I mean, bada machine to bada dena padega price,
Yes.
and all
Yes.
of the other, yeah, all of the other um, attributes. And if I just go and change it, so what happened that this server will get updated. If I just go and change it,
Okay. Suddenly it's updated.
those server will get upgraded. Okay, now you see T2 large ho gaya na abhi,
Okay.
right? So that is the way of upgrading the server. So today, some of the other options, very important. Those are very small thing because of the participants today. Not very. I mean, all a few less people there. But important pointer is sometimes we have seen that this server accidentally got deleted by some of the IT support team, or accidentally somebody deleted the server. Now you understand that in production, if you delete the server, then what would be the big mess? Correct?
Yes.
So you have to protect that. You have to protect being the server deleted, correct? From deleted. So if you want to protect the server to be deleted, then there's an option called, again, go to actions, click on instance settings, and if you see there's an option called change termination protections. Click on change termination protections and enable it. If I just go and enable it, then what happened that if I now go and try to terminate the server, then there's a big red
Yes.
notification that this server cannot be deleted because of some terminations instant attribute enable. So again, अगर आपको delete करना है, all you need to do that, if you go back, simply go to termination protections and uncheck it. So now you can delete it. So this is important. So I would suggest that if you join somewhere as a cloud consultant or engineer or architect, at least all of the important server, or all of the server, not important and unimportant, all of the servers you should protect by this option. And
Protected.
ठीक है?
Yes. Sir,
Hmm.
I have one doubt. How can we install any application on any server?
We'll see when we'll see the load balancer. Okay.
Okay.
The interesting class upcoming. Okay, the load balancer. Sometime next week that we'll see. Tomorrow we'll complete the EBS, etc. And then
Okay.
okay. So instance settings, now another important option, which is the user data. See that user data. So user data sometimes very useful for a kind of startup script. What's that? Startup script. So for example, if you open your laptop or computer, you have observed that some of the services are pre-locked or pre-started, right? Some of the services are already started if you start the server in a start the laptop or computer. The same thing happens for the server world, server technology, that many developers, many automation people, they run a script like bash shell, PowerShell script. So if they do this kind of script, that the particular service, a script will run during the server starts process. Every time if you start the server, the script will auto run. And that is the place in the user data you have to write those codes. It is not for you. I'm just showing you, I'm just telling you the option uh, where you have to define your script during the server starts or launch. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Here, this option, place here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these options you may edit, but if you remember when we launch any instance, there also this option was there, we didn't discuss. So let's say if I'm going to launch a fresh new brand new server, and if I just scroll down and down and down, click on advanced, again down, here you can see there's an option called user data, the same user data we have just seen. Okay. So if you are a developer, if you are a DevOps guy, you can upload the code from your local computer if you know how to write the code like bash shell or PowerShell, so that this script will run during the server creation process. Okay, clear? Okay. Uh, Now what next? Let me check. Okay. So now again a theory, but important. After theory, we'll see the practical. This if you just go and type here on Google AWS placement group, there's a link called placement groups. Okay, click on that. Just stay there. Look at this line. So basically, if customer would like to install their high performance applications, high performance computing. Okay. So high performance computing is a sort of application where, there's a lot of computing process needed. Lot of a kind of very supercomputer stuff, right? Lot of process, lot of compute, lot of network, a lot of RAM, processing is needed. It's intensive, compute intensive workload. So if your customer, they would like to deploy these kind of applications of HPC, then all of the instances that you run, let's say this is the instance EC2. There's a three, let's say there's a three instances. Okay. What happened? So let's say what? Let me. Huh?
You can continue, sir. I can understand. No need to make the graphs.
क्या बोल रहे हैं?
You can continue, sir. No need to make the graphs. You say, I will understand.
No, no. So that's okay, but there's some problem here. So let's say I have got two EC2 instance, and inside that you need to install, or your customer will install HPC applications, high performance compute. So, but this HPC, they need a kind of very faster hardware, okay, where they will run at backend. So now let's see if I just, so now this entire three different nodes, they should be part of a same hardware, so that at the back end they will share the same, let's say, storage cluster. They will share the same network cluster, something same hardware, they will share, because they need to process very very faster. So that's why you have to create a group in AWS called placement group. So this placement group is nothing. Spelling is wrong. This placement group is nothing. It's a kind of logical group where all of the servers will stay and share common hardware infrastructure, networking, storage, etc., so that their process, their speed will be much faster, and they will, a kind of connected with a kind of same hardware. So now if you see cluster, the first is cluster, which is a tightly coupled low latency network. Okay. And now you see inside the one single availability zone. So this cluster, if you want to create replacement group, that means that in the one availability zones, then all of the nodes will be part of only one availability zone, and they will share the common low latency network to perform necessarily tightly coupled communications. Make sense?
Yes, yes.
There are three types of placement group though. Second is partition. So partition is another type of placement group. But if you choose partition, then your instances spread across different underlying hardware with the groups of instances, something like that. Let's say I want to deploy certain applications, but these two total, let's say, 4 EC2 instance. Now what I can do, I can create a logical group for these two nodes, and now I can create a logical group for these two, and inside that they can share the same kind of network storage, they will share. So that's another type of placement group, which is called partition. Another spread. Spread is strictly places a small group of instances across distinct underlying hardware to reduce correlated features. So that means this spread means it will create small group of instances, and each and every group, inside that only few instances will be there. There's a kind of another kind of placement groups to reduce any kind of correlated failures, right? If one node goes down, then no problems, etc. So this placement group for your exam, it will come. Then always remember this something. AWS want to assess your knowledge in terms of a low latency network performance, etc. For HPC Hadoop cluster, you see there's a Hadoop, Cassandra, and Kafka. So you may go for the partitioning approach. Okay.
Okay.
So now how can you create this? So if you scroll down, you see there's an option called placement groups on my left. You see that? Click on
Yeah.
that. Create a placement group. I created. Let me delete this. Let's say Hadoop. Hadoop is a big data thing. Placement strategy, let's say cluster spread partition that we have just discussed. Let's say cluster. create group. So now this placement group has been created. Now if I go to EC2 instance and I want this server, my first server should be part of the placement group. The placement group I've created, this server and that server. Maybe these are all HPC, green and my code. Okay. You can just go
Okay.
to actions. Yes. Then instance settings. You see there's an option called modify instance placement.
Modify. Yeah.
You can click
Yes.
on that, choose the placement group and save it. So now this particular server, so again, T2 large doesn't support for the placement group, is very small or very testing environment, right? T2 we have discussed that is kind of very for the testing environment, correct? It is not
Okay.
very much for productions. So but you got the understanding, like if you have very big servers, then if you go by this approach, then all of the servers would be part of the same placement group.
Okay. The name of the placement group only three, or we can write anything.
Name.
Yes.
If I
Naming of
go to
the
placement
placement.
groups, yeah, create placement group, you have to give it you have to give any name, even our, no
Okay.
problem. But the strategy you have to select from these three.
Okay.
How do have just given a name?
No.
Clear or not clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. What should be the space and the mm, server? Like T2 large is not suitable for this placement group. Then what size of the groups?
I think it's a little bit bigger machine. Let's say 8 virtual CPU, M5, M series. It will start from M series. Okay,
Okay.
so something
Okay.
big machine, little, not 4 virtual CPU or 2 virtual CPU. Maybe 8, 16. Okay.
Okay.
You can also see, I think placement group supported instances. Let me check. Placement group supported instances. Let me check. This is another block. But yeah, we need to check. Okay, you can check also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's discuss. Let me go back instances. Elastic IQ we discussed, right?
Yes.
Last day. Did you also discuss that the LAN card or NIC? Did you
No.
discuss? No. No? Okay. I'll not discuss today because of. Okay. Now tell me a couple of little questions. So let's say I'm the customer, aware, okay,
Okay.
and you are the cloud consultant or solutions architect. Hmm. Some of the questions I will ask that, let's say I don't know anything about AWS. Okay. Now I'm a bit confused about the region and availability zones. So can you tell me what is region and what is availability zones? Take your time, go slow and tell. So these are the things important, correct?
Yes.
Region क्या है, availability zones क्या है?
Uh, Sir, region means what we are providing in which area, and ability zones as per our space, we can share the hardware server.
Availability zone what?
The server, our hardware and the servers.
No, this is not a right answer, Abhay. Go and check the last video. Okay.
Okay.
Availability zone means there's a logical data center, yeah. What is the hardware? Availability zone is the data centers, correct?
Yes, yes.
Hardware, why hardware you're saying? So don't, if you mention all of this, then not even the first round of interview, there's a first day, your interview will be cracked. You will be, out. So please go and check the videos again and again and try to take a note. Whatever the topics we are discussing, no, you have to go, you have to Google it, you have to check, right? What is the exact thing? Okay, but no problem. The next question, this is related to what is the importance of public subnet and private subnet?
Public public subnet we can access by internet or open for the public. We can access from anywhere. And private subnet, it must be security based, and it's accessed by the user only, or
Hmm.
either the admin.
Okay. So what is the purpose of elastic IP? What is the purpose of elastic IP?
Yeah. When our servers get reboot or get a restart, then every time IP will be changed.
Very good.
Uh, yeah. For that, for reducing, avoiding that problem, we are getting elastic APIs. When we
Very
are
nice.
allocating elastic API,
Hmm.
whenever our server reboot or anything happened with the server,
Hmm.
the IP will not change, and the user must be accessed by that IP only.
Good. Last question. What is the purpose of AMI? What is AMI?
Yeah. AMI is image process, means a
Hmm.
copy of the instance. If I have created a instance and suddenly it's get delete or anything happened with that, or either we can stop that or delete that. Okay, whenever we require that the same server or same instance,
Hmm.
we can get from AMI. It's all about the backup of instance.
Very nice. So you are very, I know you are doing good actually, but yeah, I was surprised that you couldn't answer the availability zone. Else, all of the answers are very subjective. Okay, good. तो वो थोड़ा पढ़ लो, ठीक है? रीजन एवरेज जोन का जो फर्स्ट वाली क्लास है, then just go and have something understand. Just review it. Else it's okay. And also we'll do a lot of quiz, etc. slowly, but I need more participants. But now what I'll do, let's discuss another topic. Okay. So AWS, they have a block. What is that? Block, BLOG. If you go and type AWS block, please browse, add the particular URL in your favorite web browser. Your in web browser, the favorite tab hota hai na,
Yes,
favorite.
yes, sir. Yes.
So because what happened that AWS every single day they release something, okay? So that it is a very good understanding for you. Probably you don't know if you don't understand anything right now because you have just started AWS Solutions Architect course. But however, this practice, you have to just go and check, okay, open it. These are big blocks. Just go through it. I'm not saying that you have to go read between each and every line and just something with simply ALB public IP address, okay, modernized Snowflake. So it will be very good for your knowledge, okay, and at least those informations will stay back of your head. I can tell you, okay. So this block is very important for if you would like to stay your career, if you like to grow and career with AWS, then the block is a very good starting point, at least to keep you updated. Okay? So that is something,
Okay.
please remember, AWS block. Maybe
Okay.
just block. Okay, this one. All right. Now, apart from that, placement group that we have discussed. Okay. If I go back to console and go to EC2, last day we discussed AMI, but there's a use case of AMI. अभी use case क्या है? So let's say that you know AMI is a kind of backup of your server, correct?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
snapshot of your server, correct? So let me take a AMI. Okay, let me go. How can I do that? Abolo, I'll follow. I want to take a AMI of the my code pipeline demo server. How can I take AMI? Let's say
Go
I
to
don't do anything.
go to
Action.
action.
Huh.
Instant image and template.
Very good.
Yeah, create image.
Good. Yes. So from here, let's say I am going to create a AMI golden image. And that's okay. Create image. Okay. So if I go to AMI, I can see my AMI is being created. Now there's a use case. Let's see your customer, this AWS account, let's say this AWS account is a development account. Okay. And this is a development account. Inside that you have got the EC2. Then let's say this is the EC2, and you have taken the AMI from this EC2. This is a backup. Now customer wanted to have the same configurations of this AMI. Let's say you have already installed applications, right? You have
Yeah.
already done a lot of settings, right? The
Yes.
same settings, if you want to do again, then what you have to do, you have to, if you have to create the same process, like need to install application settings, configuration, testing, etc., etc. It will take a lot of time, isn't it?
Yes.
So that is the whole concept of AMI. Say you can create another server that we have already discussed, correct?
Yeah.
But this use case is something different. Let's say this is the another AWS account.
Okay.
This is one AWS account. This is two AWS account, and this is the prod, not the day productions. Okay. Now, what I can do actually, if I want to have the same kind of configuration to another server in the productions, I simply, you know, copy this particular AMI to this prod AWS account, and from here I can create another EC2 with the same app installed like this. That
Okay.
means
Means
my,
image will be transferable from one account to another.
yes, you can copy the AMI from one account to another account, completely new, from my account to your account, from different AWS account, also a different region also. So let's say this is
Okay.
the complete different account, but let's say you have got this is, let's say this is the let's say this is the North Virginia region, okay, and let's say this is the Mumbai region, okay, in the same AWS account, same AWS account. So also this approach will work for region to region, and from there you can also create the application. So it will support account to account, region to region as well. Clear?
Yes.
कैसे करोगे? Let me show you. I am here in the AMI Still it is on the pending stage, but I can show you. Click, select the AMI, go to actions, and there's an option called copy AMI. You see that?
yes,
Click on copy AMI. कुछ नहीं करना है, यहाँ पर जाके just you need to select the destinations region. Let's say I would like to move this AMI to Mumbai region. Okay, and here you can just copy the AMI. If I just do that, right now it is red. Why? Because AMI तभी तक बना ही नहीं है. AMI has not been created right now, right? Still it is getting
okay,
processed. But if it would be done, it would be created, then that's the same process. You can apply and the AMI could get copied over from here to there. Make sense? Very good, very important use case, small discussion, but production में काफी time ये काम होता है.
okay. This is copy. Then how can we share there or
Hmm?
other person? How can get there?
Okay. So now if I just go to another account, there's an option called edit AMI permissions. From here, you need to share with another AWS account.
Okay,
So if you have the account ID, so each and every AWS, they have a different account
account.
ID, right?
Yeah,
So all you need to select your account ID, I mean your destination's account ID, and then you can share the AMI to other. One is copy, one is edit. Good question. Clear?
yes.
Hmm. एक चीज बताओ भाई, ये वीकेंड में आप लोग कितना टाइम दे पाओगे? 2 आवर्स तो देना ही पड़ेगा, करेक्ट?
Okay,
Since we discuss very slow, but slowly हम लोग जाएंगे, but we have to give more time, at least 2 hours minimum, 2 to 2.5 hours. Okay, hope it's okay.
yeah,
आज नहीं,
yeah.
maybe from next week. Okay,
Okay,
so otherwise it will take a long time. Okay, so another topic today we are going to discuss, and then we can wrap it up. Very small day today. So which is tax? What is that?
okay.
क्या है टैग? क्या है? Any idea? मतलब forget about technical. If you see tax, what is the first thing comes to your mind?
Branding,
Huh?
branding.
Branding. Okay. Tagging. अच्छा
Yeah,
हाँ,
brand.
start में tag होता है. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe tagging means something in your Instagram account or Facebook. You can tag to some other person, isn't it?
yeah,
Right? So that if you tag people, that in their Facebook account, your post will get displayed. Correct?
yeah,
Or maybe अगर आप if you go by flight and there's a baggage check-in baggage, then also tagging there, right? They usually
yeah.
tag their bag. Correct? So
Something
tag
unique.
means some of. Hmm?
Something unique name or code.
Yes, very good. Something unique. Okay. So the tag means you are going to label it, okay, to something,
Yeah,
isn't it? So now the same thing comes to AWS. So if I go to tax options here, and if I just select tax, tag is nothing like I'm just going to label certain key and value to something, okay? And I can tell you the tag is so important in productions. Using tag, you can do a lot of automations. Using tag, you can use these tagging options for your billing. Okay, billing segregations, a lot of things you can do. Tag slowly we'll discuss. So now if I have the instance and if I see tags also there, almost in all of the services you will see the tags option. So if I just go to
yeah,
tags, so I have already tagged this particular server with name, which is my code pipeline demo. right? So let's see, if I just go to this particular server, if I just go to tags, I can see there are a lot of tags automatically assigned. If I go to this green, I can see tags also there. But how can you add? Let's say go manage tags options, add new tags. Let's say department is 5G operations. So let's say this machine, this server, it is something related to 5G department, okay, operations department. Or this server is something related to HR. So if you just level this key and value to this particular server, then next time you can easily search by the tag. Let's say if I just go to tag, okay, not here, let me select for tagging. I think that would be, yeah. So let's say name equals to, let's say, what, department,
HR.
something,
HR, you have written HR.
HR, yeah. So also there's another option called tag. If you just go to tag here, resource group and tag editor, if you just go there, so that also you can see, you can, let's say there are a lot of AWS resources you have, okay, 100,000 of resources. Now how many of servers are part of development, how many servers are part of, different productions, it is very difficult to grab, right? So you can
Yeah.
create this kind of, resource group. Okay, we'll discuss not now, but I'll just show you. You can create a resource group, and you can create, okay, tag based resource group. Let's say I want to tag a resources. Let's say resource type is all supported resource type. Let's say my name equals to HR, right? Add it. So now I can add this kind of tag, okay, and create a resource group. So next time, all of the resources are part of these tags will come up. We'll discuss everything. So that is the beauty of one tagging, and a lot of other automations, right? So if I go back to EC2 and instance, so let's see, there's a 100,000 of servers. So we have already discussed tag, and you can create multiple tags in one machine. That is a good part of that. If I, let's say, if this is the name code pipeline, I can create multiple tags, okay, for the
Yeah.
same server. Okay, that also can be done. Not server, any resources for that matter. And here in instances, there are a lot of filter. Like, if you want to, check, if you want to filter with, all the operating system, let's say platform equals to Windows. So only Windows machine will come, only Linux machine will come. That's how you can also filter out of instances. Clear? So that's all for today, Abhay. Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll have the sessions called EBS, Elastic Block Storage, and a very important class. And then EBS backup. How can you take the backup of the EBS? All right.
Okay.
Assignments up deklo. Assignments, you have still time. So after this session, if you have time, then assignment number 2 you can finish up
Okay.
and show me tomorrow when we start. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.